20-year-old Danish footballer who has really only had a breakthrough season at Atalanta in Serie A, and Manchester United have bought him for a figure believed to be 70 million euros, around 60 million pounds, with another 10 in add-ons. What are our thoughts on that? I mean, as a Manchester United fan, I'm very excited about this player. I think he's got lots of potential. I think Erik ten Hag is a developmental coach, and Manchester United is screaming out for a number 9. We've seen this in pre-season. But the instant reaction to that, even from some Manchester United fans, is it enough? One striker? Is he experienced enough? Is that too much? And certainly rival fans have come in and said Manchester United have massively overspent on a player that only 19 months ago cost Atalanta less than 2 million euros. Have Manchester United been exploited by Atalanta again? It's happened a few times before with clubs like Leicester, Sporting Lisbon, Crystal Palace with Wan-Bissaka. My personal feeling is that this player is really exciting. And if you do your homework on him, he has got a number of attributes that are going to be really important for Manchester United. His ability to get into the box with the ball and carry the ball. He's really good at holding the ball up. He's a very physical player for 20 years of age, but he is ridiculously raw. And I would think it would be naive to expect a player like that to be thrown in and start scoring 30 goals for Manchester United. And I don't think that's what Erik ten Hag expects. I think he sees a developmental player in Rasmus Hojlund, and maybe Rashford will start as the number 9 and Hojlund will be gradually fed in. He's not Erling Haaland. The only comparison is they have surnames beginning with a H and they're quite similar sounding. Erling Haaland's pedigree going to Man City last season was already of one of the best strikers in the world. Where Rasmus Hojlund comes into the Premier League will be very interesting. A couple of weeks ago, I said when Man United bought Onana, he comes in as, for me, one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the league because of the pedigree he has. Rasmus Hojlund, I wouldn't even rank where he comes in. For 70 million euros, you are putting a lot of pressure on the lad. But I think that Manchester United need a number 9. And they need to learn how to create chances for their number 9. This has been a problem for a number of years, going back to Ronaldo, Martial, Cavani. United's wingers and even Bruno Fernandes, sometimes we're not really set up to create chances for a number 9. And that's something that's going to take time. And we won't have a pre-season to work on this. So I think it's a work in progress. But the big positive is, for the first time in a long time, Manchester United have got a striker I and many other United fans are really excited about. Mentioning Cavani, mentioning Ronaldo, mentioning Zlatan, Lukaku. These strikers were either past their best and short term or failed to deliver. We haven't had a number 9, the most important position in a football team, a goal scorer, to get excited about and go, you know what, if this works out, this is the next 5, maybe 8 years of our time as Man United fans with a striker that can really capture the imagination. And I think just observing the fan base across social media over the last 24 hours, there's so much excitement about him. Of course, you're going to get detractors saying he hasn't scored many goals, but that's because he's only at the start of his career. He is a developmental striker. Liverpool spent a lot of money on Darwin Núñez a year ago. I said, and I still think, he will come good. I think he's a good signing. I don't think that's a bad signing by Liverpool. I think that with Rasmus Hojlund, rivals are always going to try and banter and wind each other up. That's the way it is. Man United haven't spent 70 million euros on somebody that's proven. He's unproven. He's developmental, like I say, and I'm very excited about it. But give us your calls. What are your thoughts? 03717 223344. What is the Rasmus Hojlund transfer to you? Maybe you're not a Manchester United fan. What are your thoughts on this? Because he is, at this moment in time, Manchester United's only recognised number 9. He's not even holding the shirt up yet. It's not official, of course. We had all the stories about the deal being done last night from all the credible journalists. It's not been announced officially by Manchester United. I'm sure that will be done next week when they return from the States and we have the shirt holding up and the official signing. But he is the only recognised number 9 at the moment. And Manchester United and Erik ten Hag are going to have to figure out a way how they work that, with Anthony Martial being injured quite a lot last season and Marcus Rashford, by his own admission, preferring to play off the left. So it doesn't look like Manchester United will be able to do anything more. They have spent nearly £200 million, though. And I think that's interesting in itself. There's a lot of money being spent at the moment by the clubs in the top four. And I think that's all about getting hold of top four. Red Octagon on YouTube, talkSPORT YouTube channel, says nobody else actually wanted Rasmus Hojlund. Well, that's, as we know, not true. Manchester United and PSG were very, very interested in him as well. There's a little bit of talk that Chelsea might have gone in for a Monaco centre-back. We'll certainly keep an eye on that and bring that into the show. But first of all, let's start taking some of your calls. It is your show. We've set it up with the Raya and the Hojlund stories, 03717 22 3344. We're going to speak to John, who's a Manchester United fan. Very excited about Rasmus Hojlund, John.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing. I mean, I can't profess to know huge amounts about him, but obviously when you read and read up about him, he seems like United have gone down the route of bringing a bit of a blank canvas in and moulding him into their way, rather than spending a little bit extra in a summer where Harry Kane was available. And I think that's more leaning towards the United way of the past. And I think it's quite an exciting sign. And if they get it right, I think United have set themselves up for years to come here, and you've got to trust Erik Ten Hag as well, and he obviously sees something in him, and I'm hoping that he'll be a key figure in the next few years and score lots of goals for them.
John, I think it's a great point. We are a club that's had a youth player on its bench since the 1930s. We've had the Busby Babes, the class of 92. There's Garnacho, who's come through the squad last season. And it's almost like some of our fan base over the last 10 years, and it has been miserable, have forgotten what this club is all about. Rasmus Hojlund is the sort of signing Manchester United should be doing. Ronaldo was the same. We brought in a very young player that had talent that nobody knew about, and we turned him into one of the world's best, and Real Madrid signed him. I'm not saying Rasmus Hojlund will be one of the world's best. I hope he is, but I think there's a talent there, and that is what Manchester United should be doing with a developmental coach like Ten Hag. Mourinho wasn't a developmental coach, so you've got to bring in the finished article, but Ten Hag is. And I look at some of the reaction, and a lot of United fans do get it, but then you get some of them going, no, we need a proven striker. And I'm like, but those same fans moan when Leicester go and buy Kante, and it's like, where did they find him? And other, like Brighton, go and buy a player, and it's like, where did they find him? You can't please everybody, but we haven't done a signing like this for a long time, where it's a young player that can be developed and turned into something that's ours. Ultimately, Harry Kane is a Spurs player. I like him, but he's a Spurs player. With Rasmus Hojlund, he's younger, and there's that chance that we can develop our own talent there.
I don't understand this we've got to buy for now business, because if they buy for now, the likelihood is how much closer is that actually going to get us? It's like, I think they're better off planning for the next few years and putting the building blocks in place to start another period of success, rather than going for the here and now kind of boom that they've had in the last few years. And I think, like, Harry Kane, like you said, he's 30 now, and so I don't think that would fit the profile of what Ten Hag's trying to do. And this lad, I think, no, he's not Haaland, but I read somewhere that in Italy they consider him the closest thing to Haaland out there at the minute. And then when you look at some of his goals, and he's got very similar attributes in terms of his power and his pace and his hold-up play, and he can bring others into the game and get assists as well. So yes, the Premier League's very different, and yes, they'll have to look after him and nurture him into it. But Erik's the man to do that, I think. So, really excited. And you can't also say, the club are backing him. I think if they get Amrabat now as well, or however you pronounce his name, if they get him off the back of this, I think you've got to say it's probably their best window for years, because they've quietly gone about their business with no drama as well. So